What's up, guys? This is Coach P reporting to you from the Durango Sports Club, and in this Strength Series episode, we're going to be talking about the granddaddy of them all exercises, the squat. The first major key to the squat is your stance. Essentially, if your feet are jacked, everything else is going to be. You want to start with, I'll say, put your pointer fingers on the top of your hip bones, point them straight down. Essentially, you want your feet to be just outside of there. That should be about shoulder length apart. You are going to turn your toes out slightly. Everybody should have a slight angle because our hips are naturally open. You want to tailor to that by angling your toes a little bit, and you're going to play with it. Some people can do them pretty narrow. Some people can go super wide and feel just fine. You got to play with that yourself. The first major key, about shoulder width apart, turn your toes slightly out. The second major key to the squat is your posture. Too often I see when people are doing the squat, let's say from the side, first thing they do is start to bend at the side and come forward with the chest, essentially throwing your whole center of gravity off. What you want to do is act as if I tied a string to the top of your head and was pulling on that thing as hard as I could while also T-spining. When you initiate that movement to squat, you want to keep great posture straight up and not let yourself come forward. And just using the awareness of saying, okay, if someone tied a string to the top of my head and was pulling on that thing as hard as we could, you are going to stay upright, okay? So in your stance, don't let yourself come forward, stay back with it. Act as if I tied a string to the top of your head for posture, okay? Boom. Posture, second major key. The third major key is something that a lot of people just don't really think too much of, but really makes all the difference in how your body feels with the exercise, is stopping just before you compromise your balance point. So that means every time we got a foot in the ground doing an exercise, you want to put your weight right underneath your heels, okay? Great stance, great posture. When you get into that squat, some people might be limited here and then they start to force to their toes to get a little bit deeper. That's when you start to strain your knees, you start to kill your lower back. What you want to do is stop wherever you can't go or stay on your balance point. If you can only go right here, shoot. If you can only go this far, staying on your balance point before you have to come to your toes, stop this far, then come up. You'll gain your range of motion as you go. But the third major key is stop right before you compromise your balance point. Once you do that, alignment gets screwed and jacked and everything is just all bad. So in recap, three major keys to the squat is number one, your stance. Fingers on the top of your tailbones, feet just outside of that, turn your toes slightly outwards. If your knees are going to do anything, push them out in the squat, okay? Number two is posture. Before you even bend, act as if I was tying a string to the top of your head, I was pulling on that thing as hard as I could, stay upright, boom, get into that squat on that balance point. Then, just before you compromise your balance point, stop, come back up. And that's your basic squat.